I just want to say, can we make sure that this is a reaction image from now on of all the memes that come out of Chainsaw Man? I really think that this one should take the cake. Anytime somebody says something stupid online, just react with this image and this image alone. Don't even say anything. Just send this image and they will understand their argument is weak. Welcome back, everybody, to the channel, or if you're new here, how's it going? Go ahead and subscribe, almost to 100K. But beyond that, Chainsaw Man Chapter 108 came out today, and this shows us a lot of interesting things that are happening in this chapter, and maybe things that I should have already known but had forgotten about, but I'm reminded of while reading this chapter. It's like every single page turn tells us a little bit more information about the bigger picture of things that are going on. And I thought this chapter was very, very well done. The last one was a bit of a setup, kind of building up to this. We got to see Yuko go around killing a bunch of people, which was fun, but this was the moment that I was waiting for. We would finally have Asa and Yuko face to face, and she's going to try to do something. The War Devil gave control back over to Asa, and she's just going to try to talk her friend out of killing everybody, to which Yuko replies, I've only killed like 3 people. It's not a big deal. And as true as that may be, as I was saying in the last chapter review, being the Justice Devil, what I am understanding the connection between justice and what she's doing is that it's justifying what she's doing to the extent that it's a good thing, that she believes that this is for the greater good. She says even by doing this, this might ignite fear in other bullies across all of Japan, and might stop bullying in its entirety if we have some punishment for them, if we have some justice, if we balance the odds. And I feel like that's where the Justice Devil is coming from, even though when they ask her about the contract, she said that she didn't give up anything. So that's a little bit interesting there, and we might get more out of that considering the end of this chapter. But as Asa trying to communicate with her is obviously not working, and so she decides she's going to use a weapon. And this is where, well, number one, you get some of your fan service here, so enjoy that. But also Asa asked the War Devil what she can do in order to use a weapon. And basically how it works, or how it's explained in this chapter, is you take something that belongs to you, that is within your possession, that is yours, and you basically say its name and then create a weapon out of it. So that's how it works, and that's how the War Devil consistently wants things within her possession, because anything she feels like she owns, she's able to turn into a weapon. So Asa goes straight for her school uniform, which it's explained in this chapter that this was something that was given to her by her mom before she passed away, and so it has intense sentimental value to her, which actually improves the power of the weapon. And this is something that I can't remember if this was ever explained beforehand, or just something that we actually learn in this chapter, because it seems like the War Devil herself was extremely surprised by that happening, and so was I. So she takes the uniform, transforms it into a sword, tries to do something against Yuko, absolutely fails, doesn't even really hit her. Like, Yuko blocks the blade, it looks like, from the panel, and that's when we get our ultimate reaction image. And so it doesn't even seem like an actual strike needs to be made, just physical contact with the weapon, because after that, Yuko explodes into 1,000 fucking pieces everywhere, dripping blood from the ceilings and creating organs and intestines falling all over Asa. It's gory, it's brutal, it's awesome. I loved it. So it seems like just physical contact is pretty much the only thing that you need with it, and it seems like the more sentimental attachment you have to the item, the more powerful the item will be. So all that stuff is kind of like, setting up the chess pieces as for the continuation of this arc and what things are going to happen probably more down the line, now that we learn all this little bit of information that's being sprinkled to us across, all of these earlier chapters, or these setup chapters with Asa, everything that's happening here in part 2. And I'm glad they threw this next part in there, because after Yuko is sliced up into 1,000,000 pieces and blood and guts are literally dripping off of the ceiling, it flashes back in Asa's mind to Bucky, the chicken from the first chapter of part 2, the undisputed best Chainsaw Man character of all time. And it's great, because not only are we reminded of Bucky, but Asa is reminded of what she did to him, which was accidental. This time, again, accidental. Yes, she did strike with the sword, but she was intending to cut off Yuko's legs so that she was unable to move and continue down the hallway and continue her assault. She wasn't looking to actually kill her. And so it's the same type of thing, the same type of trauma of that accidental, force that she used, that maybe she is more destructive than she ever thought possible. And so she has this kind of tragic moment where she's looking at her friend and she can't believe what she just did. This other character comes from around the hallway and says that she has the ability to heal Yuko. And so obviously right away we know that she has a contract with the devil of some sort, and she is a dark entity of some kind. But as she's asking Asa if she wants her to do it, she said that she'll do anything for her little sister. She says this to Asa, and at first I thought, did I miss something else? Was there something else in these earlier chapters that I'm not remembering? But then, of course, I looked at the character's eyes, and she has the same exact eyes as the War Devil, same exact eyes as Makima, and immediately I remembered the idea of the Four Horsemen that are out there, and Makima explains this in like a way earlier chapter, and I couldn't remember what all of them were, so I had to look up the image. So it is, in this universe, it is Control, the Control Devil, which was Makima, the War Devil, which we have now with Asa, and we have two more, which are Hunger and Death, which of course relates to the actual Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. The only one that's changed is, I believe, Pestilence, which is changed to the Control Devil, so I guess Disease doesn't count, but we still have Hunger, we have War, Death, and Control. So that's what we have, and we have yet to see the Hunger or Death Devil. And I'm assuming with the ability to bring something back to life, or, you know, from the brink of death, bring them back, I'm assuming this is probably the Death Devil. I don't really see how Hunger would play a part if that's what it actually is. I mean, there could always be a misdirect of some kind, but I couldn't see any other reason for her to obviously have the same eyes and to say little sister, so you would assume that they're all part of the same group, because as we know, Asa, as far as I know, Asa doesn't have any siblings, and so it's relating to the War Devil within her, at least as far as I can tell. But what could this mean as far as the powers and the capabilities of the Death Devil, if that's what it is? This is just my assumption offhand. It's not confirmed at all within this chapter. This is pure headcanon speculation. But if you have the ability to bring something back from the brink of death, and not only that, but make it like more gigantic, more powerful, add more power to it, it seems like the opposite, right? It seems like you have, well, I guess it is kind of control over death, you know, stopping death, being able to limit it. Or maybe it's like a giant power increase that only lasts for a limited amount of time before afterwards. I don't know. It could be a lot of things. But now the Yuko has basically turned into a gigantic monster of some kind, and Asa, well, I guess her weapon would still probably work, but I don't know if she would be as willing to this time as to seeing what happened last time, maybe wanting to salvage her friend in some way. So I would believe that this is leading us into the introduction of Chainsaw Man showing up to fight this creature, and then we're going to have some kind of back and forth between Asa and Denji, and I don't know how far this is going to go. I don't know if the entire school is going to be destroyed, if there's going to be 50,000 more casualties, if this is going to go out into the city. This could, because Chainsaw Man could go either way. This could be resolved in the next chapter, or this could be something that could seemingly blow up and go on the next 10 chapters. We don't know, man. So I like this chapter. I thought it was much better than the last one. The last one was set up leading into this, but this is kind of what I wanted to see from the get-go. So excited about it. Like this chapter. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Do you agree with me? Do you think that that's the Death Devil, or do you think this is something else going to go into a different direction? Do you think Denji's going to show up? Let me know what you think about the chapter down below. If you enjoyed the review, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and a comment, because all interaction will help it be seen in the algorithm. And if you would like to, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to try to hit 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year, if that's possible. If you guys can help me get there, I'd greatly appreciate it. Also, if you want to support, I got a Patreon, channel memberships, all that stuff down below. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll talk to you next time.